Well, it's interesting, the word mission, isn't it? I went into McDonald's a couple weeks ago and I saw our mission is. So McDonald's has a mission. I said, that's really cool. So they're going to help out Jesus. But their mission is just to kind of be the best, the fast, the cleanest, of any food chain in the world. Well, that's not exactly what the mission of God is, or the Missio Dei. So what is mission? It's been used, the term is used so many different ways. In the past, we would talk about missions. And missions, I think it's best to use that word just of particular mission societies or organizations. And so you can talk about the London Missionary Society or the Jesuits or the Presbyterian Mission. Those are all missions with an S. Mission, and the larger mission, the mission of God, talks about overall what is God's mission in the world. And that's sort of a cosmic thing, and it's very personal. I start off my book talking about mission is just as personal and intimate as the death of a missionary's daughter by malaria. And it's as cosmic and expanding as the renewal of all of creation. So it's both. And that all of that is the mission of God. Now, we have a new term, the adjectival use of the word mission today, that really began the last years of the 20th century. Actually, I think we can probably nail it down about 1998. And that really came from an understanding of the fact that in the West, we're in a missional context, a mission situation. The West is a mission field today. And that being the case, we need to think about ourselves not as sending missionaries just over there, but actually being sent right here in our context. And it was really a wonderful turn or rediscovery of the missionary nature of the church that is not just going over there. Now, when we talk about missional church, we talk about a missional person or a missional existence. Basically what we're doing is just trying to recover something that's always been rooted there in Scripture and in our theology. But we lost it because for so long we were in sort of a Christendom situation in the West that we didn't really have to think about being a missionary down the street and being a missionary to bring about the full conversion, not just of individuals, but of culture in the West. But now we do. The West is a missionary context, and so we've had to add an adjective in order to make clear what should be clear anyway, and that's the fact that the church is missional in its very essence. As I said earlier, the church has two purposes, one of which is worship, but the other is mission. And if you remove that missional purpose of the church, you really no longer have a Christian church, I believe. You have something like a church, but until that praise overflows and goes out into the world and brings about the transformation that is required of disciples of Christ, you're not really fully church. And so the term missional is a helpful term in remembering again what the church is supposed to be.